Full SSD upgrade for the Inspiron that I have here. It is basically a mechanical drive failure, so this is very straightforward. You can watch me do it. I think I've done this model on the air a few times. I've already unscrewed this Inspiron. Doesn't say which Inspiron it is. Alright, so anyway, straightforward. This thing takes both the mechanical 2.5 inch drive and an SSD m.2. So I'm going to do the m.2 because it's an upgrade, not just a fix. Alright, so here we go. We are installing an SSD 980. A Samsung 980 right there. Show up in the chat, say hi, 855-434-8787. I'll have a chat with you if you want to talk tech. 855-434-8787. Okie dokie. Let's get this done. Straightforward. Pop off the bottom of the Inspiron. Show up in the chat, make a friend, huh? Even if you don't talk to me, here we are. There is our drive. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Oh, it does come included with. Good, it does come with. Let's see. Its own screw. Good. This Dell actually already came with this Phillips screwdriver. Male, that's what that is. Alrighty. Unplug the battery when you do this stuff. There we go. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to undo the battery, or sometimes it's more labor intensive than the actual labor for the part you want to replace, but it is a safer maneuver. Replace or unplug the battery before you replace hardware. Alrighty, that's the bulk of our effort here, our physical efforts. Our mechanical drive is physically, it gave up the data, but it took a while because of that's the way it failed. So, or is failing. Yeah. That's fairly it. I'm not going to screw it tight yet. I am going to install Windows 10. This customer states that this machine can actually go. There we are. It's an Inspiron 15-7002-1. So this machine will go to Windows 11, but he specifically does not want to go to 11. So we're going to stick with 10. Alrighty. Let's plug this thing in. Got a copy of Windows 10 on that SanDisk memory stick. There we go. Okay, this is a filthy screen. Alrighty. Let's see here. Can I make this screen more useful to you? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. Yeah, I'll watch the screen before. Okay, so I'm going to plug in our USB stick with Windows 10. Because our only drive physically installed is an empty drive, it's going, because it's a Dell, default to the external drive without having to manually point it. So here we go. We're just doing a standard Windows 10 install on a terabyte SSD. Oh, F2. Looks like I do have to hit a key to get it to see the stick. It might have been a legacy boot because it had a standard mechanical drive. Let's hit the F12. All right, okay. Yes, it does see the M2. You see that in the corner, right? It does actually see it, so I don't have to enable it. Some BIOSes by default leave it disabled. So we're gonna USB storage device. So that's where our copy of Windows 10 is. Here we go. Selected boot device. Oh, you know what? This memory stick probably doesn't have a copy of Windows on it. I think I had one of those that was just floating around and does not have a copy of Windows on it. So, where's my other copy of Windows? Windows, Blendos. Where did I do with my other Windows? I got Windows 11 copies all over. Windows 11, Windows 11. What did I do with my Windows 10? That's specifically why I have them. Oh, there they are. I just moved them right here. All right. Okay, let's try this again. Press any key to reboot. Let's try this again. All righty. Here's our Dell BIOS, exit. Let's try this F2 again. No, F12. F12. Here we go. Okay. USB storage device. Let's fix this. Enter. Oh, wow. Well, that's interesting. It's not booting off of a USB stick. Let's see. I know 2 of these work. I know I have a copy of Windows on these memory sticks. Let's see what's going on. F12. Come on. Oh, you know what? There we are, UEFI. There. You know what? These are UEFI configured. There we go. All right. That's normal behavior for a Dell BIOS, believe it or not. It is a glitch, but it's a cosmetic glitch. So here we go. We're going to install Windows 10 on this Dell Inspiron 157,000. This is live. If you want to say hi, show up in the chat, or call me live at 855-434-8787. I do this all the time. When it makes sense, I film the work. Sometimes you can get an interesting technical conversation. If you give me that call and I'm not live, I'll probably air it here. Setup is starting. I was going to throw that in the trash, but here we go. Accept. Next. Read it like a rock star lawyer. We're going to do custom install. Custom install. There, we can barely see it. The screen's a bit washed out. New. No, we're just going to do cancel. So you don't actually have to do a manual new partition. You can just hit next. It is a given that you're going to use the whole drive for the system. So here we go. That's pretty much it. Hurry up and wait. Windows 10 on an Inspiron 157,002-in-1 with an M.2 1 terabyte Samsung 980. And I'm just going to stay live and wait for you guys to say hi. 855-434-8787. What else do we have going on today? There's a machine behind me. That needs a drive. I thought it was new enough to need another M.2. The problem with that machine is that he just ran out of space. So I'm going to replace his 1 terabyte drive with a 2 terabyte drive. but it looks like it's a legacy motherboard, so it has no M.2 support. Just a 2.5 SSD is what he'll be getting. That's a relatively common problem. People download their 40 gig games on Steam, and then they're out of space, and they don't realize it's not a hardware issue, except that it's not a hardware failure. The issue is that the drive is too small. Just something to consider if you're a gamer. Sometimes you don't realize how big a game is. Alright, we're 58% through the Windows installer. Show up, say hi, give me company, make a friend in the chat. Give me a live technical call. You can call me at any time. My 855-434-8787 is a recorded line. If you give me an interesting conversation, I'll air it here. Here we go. 78%. This machine's chugging along. It'll be faster than it ever has been before. I'm surprised at how many machines ship with both support for both the 2.5 inch drive and an m.2. A lot of dual support motherboards from 3 or 4 years ago, I guess. 91%, 92, 93, 94, 95. So when this is installed, first thing I'm going to do is get it online. Windows 10 and 11 are pretty good about most drivers. I'll get it online, and then I'm going to download all the drivers. And then I'm actually going to go to Dell's website and download the installer directly from Dell, because oftentimes there's a couple updates that are actually not included in the Windows updates. Sometimes it looks like they're complete because it'll populate all the drivers in the device manager. But you'd be surprised. There's usually 1 or 2 that are not. I learned that the hard way a couple of years ago when the Windows driver for the camera for a Dell was not included in the Windows updates, but it looked like everything had populated in the Windows update in the device manager. All right, here we go. We're going to reboot. All right, here we go. Windows 10, the dots. Windows 11, it's the little line. Getting devices ready. Here we go. Straightforward repair today. Not very interesting, but it gives me an opportunity to go live, introduce myself. My name is Chris. I am the South Bay Tech Guru, and I invite you to call me live, 855-434-8787. Getting ready. It's been a rainy day today. I hope this is our last rain, I would say, of the season, but it's technically no longer rainy season. It's the end of March. The sun looks like it's trying to start to pop out. Getting ready. We're almost there. Getting ready. I'm going to guess there's at least one BIOS update available. Most machines I work on have never been worked on, and because they're owned by non-tech enthusiasts, they don't do all the updates. The BIOSes are usually 1 or 2 versions old. All right, come on. Here we go. This machine actually has USB-A and has Ethernet and USB-C. Alrighty. Here we go. It's rebooting. It's a touchscreen. Convertible. I guess the screen is designed to do one of those bendy backwards things. Here we go. Just a moment, please. Hello.
Hi there.
Don't want that. Hello, I'm Cortana. I don't care. I don't know anyone who actually talks to Cortana. All right, so we're gonna go next, skip. I don't have. Continue with limited setup. Yeah, what's up? We're live, but go ahead and talk.
Can I microwave?
Yeah, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
All right.
All right. Who's going to use this? This is a quick, just a Windows install, so we'll be done in a minute.
All right, thanks.
INFERRERA. I just want to show people where I go to get Dell updates that aren't necessarily Windows updates. Almost done now. Two more minutes. We're getting ready for you. We're getting everything ready for you. This might take several minutes. Do not turn off your PC. This is all normal. Give me a call, 855-434-8787. Show up and say hi. Alrighty. This might take...
I'm sorry I didn't think until the last minute to give you the heads up. I should have told you earlier.
This might take several minutes, my butt. Come on. I might have to use this Ethernet to USB. I don't know if the driver is going to be included to get this thing online. Usually, it's one or the other. Either the Ethernet driver is included or the Wi-Fi driver is included. Sometimes both. But out of the box, oftentimes, installing Windows, you'll have at least a few drivers that won't be included, like maybe the mouse won't work. In this case, this is not the issue. So let's see here. It looks like out of the box, the Wi-Fi is working. Connect. Whoops. I can't type. There we go. So now, let's see how much is not included. Hi, this is Chris.
Chris?
Yes, hi.
Hey, it's Alicia. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
So I wanted to ask you something. So I am gonna be like pretty soon. I mean, I'm planning on getting a new iMac finally, but I kind of just wanted to wait a little bit because I was researching that they might come out with a new model of the
Well,
iMac.
well, they're
You know,
always there's basically a new model all the time. So
yeah,
I mean, the new ones are so different and upgraded from the old ones.
yeah.
What I need to know is how much data you have because the technology's now been upgraded to SSDs, which means to keep the price point down, they've halved the sizes of the drive. So you may or may not need to upgrade the storage.
Yeah. What but do you know when like do you have an idea when like the latest iMac might come out though?
Let me look it up right now.
Thank you.
I'm in front of a computer because they schedule everything at a different time of the year. Like the new phones generally come out at the end of the summer. Let's see here.
Yeah, I thought I saw something that said maybe July, but
Which machine are you using? The one that I fixed for you a couple years ago?
yeah, okay. So this is what I wanted to ask you, and I already know what you're probably going to say, but I just wanted to see if you could try just for because I am for sure going to buy a new one.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if so that MacBook, the old 2009 that you've like worked on for me many times, like what's happening is like it's getting stuck on the loading screen.
Yeah, your hard. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying I tried the different troubleshooting things for it that I read online, and none of it really worked.
Yeah.
Like resetting different things. But I just want to see if it was possible if maybe you could figure out how to just because I am gonna get a new one for sure. But I'm just saying like in the time being, if maybe you could just get it like started again.
I'm pretty sure I already know what the issue is. Usually either the hard drive fails, which I think we already did on that thing, right?
No, that hard drive never failed before, actually.
Okay.
You put a 1 terabyte in it for me, and that was like maybe like 5 years ago already, but ever since then, there was never I
Right.
never had any issues with it.
Right. Okay. So that cable also, there is a cable that can fail, which is a less common failure, but usually the slowness is also attributed to the drive communicating with the rest of the machine, which means the cable at this point is probably now failing, even if the drive isn't failing. So at this point, it would be a cat and mouse game. You can spend, actually at this point, because it's a 2012 iMac, or what is it? We're talking about the laptop,
No,
right?
it's a 2009 MacBook.
Yeah, the laptop, right. Yeah, okay. At
Yeah,
this
yeah.
point, I don't know that I could actually still get that cable, but it's either the cable or the drive again, because that's generally what you're describing as far as not being able to boot past the boot logo.
If I can find that cable, could you?
Yeah. In fact, here, are you sure it's a 2009?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a mid 2009.
Okay, so that cable, ifixit.com is where I go to get that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so they may still have it, but that at this point, that's a pretty old machine.
Yeah, I don't care if it's even just for a few months, basically, till I get that new one.
All right, let's go. I'm in front of my computer. I'm at the shop right now. Let's see here. iFixit.
What's that part called? That cable exactly? What
Hard drive cable. I know. I made the mistake of thinking it was a hard drive failure in the past. It didn't occur to me that the cable, just through normal use, can fail.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
But it's weird. It's like it'll even go to the end of the loading. Like the bar will go all the way to the end, but
Yep.
it just stays there.
Yep. I'm at MacBook Pro. Let's see here. I just know this. Here, let's see. Device. It's a 20. Okay. There's the devices, and now let's go get parts. I'm on ifixits.com website. Let's see here. I want to go hard drive cable. Where is it? Display. This is one of the last. Hard drive cable. Yes. Here we go. $30.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll charge you $1,000.
Yeah, it's a mid 2009.
Yeah, I see. ifixit.com has it. So that's probably the part. Unfortunately, the problem could potentially be the drive itself. I mean, you said it's been 5 years. That's normal for a drive to fail after that point in time.
Yeah.
So,
And okay, yeah, but I guess so. I can order that part then and just take it to you and just see
Yeah.
if you can. It works.
yeah, if you don't mind blowing $30, I'll charge you another $30 for the labor. So I mean, I don't want to waste your time or money, but because I don't want to properly diagnose it over a 5 minute phone call. I kind of want
Yeah.
your description is the cable or the drive. Technically, it could be either.
Because you know what's weird is, I know I always say this and it's kind of unbelievable, but even until now this happened, it was running pretty good.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking it could be the cable then, hopefully.
Right. So unfortunately, I don't know. I used to have a couple of them because back in the day when the machine was still relatively new, it was worth having one or two laying around.
Oh, that's nice. So
Yeah.
what does that do, the cable,
It's-
or what, that's inside the computer? What's its job?
It connects the data to the rest of the machine. The rest of the machine is the giant circuit board that moves all the traffic around.
And those just go out sometimes?
Yeah, it's unusual because you don't think of a cable as failing when there's no chafing or no physical activity on it. It just pushes electricity through it, but it does eventually wear out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be around tomorrow and Friday?
Yeah.
What time do you get out of there?
I'm always around town, and because most of the work is house calls, I'm in and out all the time. Just give me some sort of warning before you show up. Do you have my Redondo Beach address?
Yeah, I still have the Manhattan one now. Oh, is that, you mean,
Yeah.
what's the Redondo one?
713 South PCH.
Because will you be around at night?
I can be. I mean, I'm local.
Because I can just drop it to you wherever you are. Because I don't get, because I'm not, because, you know, I live and work in LA, and I'm not done till like 7.
Right. Yeah, fine. I'll be around. Yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, I can, because it's just me. I'm not a corporate-oriented individual. I can make myself available after a normal hour.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
so like maybe like 8:30 or 9 or something. I'll just hang out with my parents tonight
All right.
then.
All right. Well, you got to order that part. I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you can bring it to me, but all I'm going to do is watch what you've already described. So at this
Yeah,
point, it's probably worth spending the $30 plus probably another $10 to ship.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right.
And plus, like, even when I get the new iMac, it'd be nice to just still have that MacBook if, like,
Well,
you know.
Technically, it's obsolete because you're running an old OS. So it's you can't technically run the latest browser. You're not going to be particularly reliable.
Well, you know what I did do, but
What?
I don't know. I doubt that had anything to do with it because that was already like many months ago that I did that. Remember, I told you. I figured I don't know which one I did it to, but I went on a tutorial and downloaded and did one of those patch things. So I got it on a later like OS.
You got it on a later what?
Like, what's that called? The operating system. Is that just OS? With
Yeah,
the
you
OS?
did the OS upgrade. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I did some patch tool to get one that Apple won't let you use with it.
Oh, you forced it to take a later OS. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So
Yeah.
I think that machine only goes to High Sierra, and you forced it to go to a later version. Got it.
Something like that. Yeah, but it was working better after that.
Right.
And at least 9 months or something. So I don't think that's what messed it up.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't think I think with normal age, I mean, to Apple's credit, that thing is old. So it's that era of hardware is among the more reliable machines.
Isn't it funny that got me through my bachelor's degree and then way later the master's degree too? Is insane.
Well, it's like I said, yeah, all the later hardware, I mean, the latest hardware out there is less reliable. I hate to say it, but with planned obsolescence, it's not even so much that they're doing it on purpose. It's just the industry is so cutthroat that they have to make things less expensive to manufacture. So everything's been plasticized, and where in the old days things would be made out of better materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Chris. You're doing good then?
It's all right. I mean, this office is bigger than in better condition than the place that you saw as falling apart. So, I suppose
You're even somewhere else now?
I'm in Redondo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I gave you the 713 South PCH. It's off of Nob Hill and PCH. I'm 4 miles south of where I was.
So that's 7137?
South 713 South
Uh-huh.
PCH.
Okay, yeah, because remember, I started with you next to Coffee Cartel.
Yeah, I know. I've moved. This is my second time moving. I'm back in Redondo, but not in the same space.
Okay, do you live in Redondo?
Yeah, I'm local.
So it's a little closer to you?
Yeah.
That's good, yeah. Okay, well, thank you. I'll get that part then, and I'll get back to you.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, there you go. A conversation. Longtime customer. She's had me work on her Apples a few times. I guess her dad also has a 2011 iMac, but she has a 2009 MacBook Pro. And yeah, a hard drive failure isn't necessarily the hard drive. In her case, that machine has a cable that runs a few inches underneath the drive and then into the motherboard or logic board. And I'm thinking that's what her actual failure is, based on the description she's tried to give me. So anyway, those are the conversations I invite here. Give me a call, 855-434-8787. You call me, and it's not while I'm live. I will take that recorded conversation if it is interesting, and I'll narrate it here. All right, so back to the original job of reinstalling Windows on this Dell Inspiron 157,000 on a Samsung m.2 980. Looks like we're just chugging along doing updates. And here we go. So you can see as I was speaking, it's filling in some of the device manager drivers. Some of these may be filled in. In fact, it looks like this red dot here is waiting for me to restart. So I think to finish some of the other updates, what I'm going to have to do is do the restart. There we go. All right, getting Windows ready. That's on 70%, right?
Yeah. You know what I noticed is that I accidentally had it on 100% for a good 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And that yellow thing used to blow prematurely, which is good.
Right.
But when it's plugged in right here on this one,
Yeah.
it actually...
The yellow one, well, they're long-term fuses, so that yellow one, because of its age and use, it's probably due for failure.
Yeah.
Because they do wear out.
Yeah, and it falls off the wall really easy.
Right.
Whereas this one plugged in solid.
Yeah, just throw out the yellow one. It's old.
Yeah.
I remember buying that thing at Fry's. That's got to be at 10 years old.
And this one's all made out. The power strip we have here from Ace is from it's metal.
It's metal, right?
Yeah, and that other one's really good, high quality Home Depot plastic.
Right.
I'm still not gonna just because I did it that on accident.
Right.
I'm still
Leave it on 70% because that's all we need.
Yeah, that's all we need, and then also I don't want to take a chance of the
Yeah.
closet.
Alrighty, here we go. So it looks like that restart did not finish filling in some of the device manager updates. So let's go back to the updates.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Another minute.
Alrighty. Those are the conversations that are perfect.
Yeah.
You just call me, 855-434-8787. I'll give you a conversation. Install now. Alright, this machine, I think I remember this customer telling me he does not specifically want Windows 11, even though this hardware does support it. View all optional updates. Let's see how many optional updates there are. Driver updates, a boatload of them. Let's see here. Dell firmware, yes. So he's never done his Dell BIOS update. Firmware update, motherboard updates, camera driver. There's no description for some of these other updates. System. Anyway. There we go. Okay, that's pretty much it. The other thing I'm going to do here, I'll just show you where Dell's utility. Oh, of course, we have to do the self-congratulatory Microsoft Edge setup. This is a local installation. I'm not going to ask the customer for their Microsoft account information without them here. So we're just going to do the VEG, the basic startup here. All right. So now I'm going to go to Dell.com. And I'm going to do a download the utility that does the auto scan. So let's go ahead and see. Let's going to go to support home. And then it's going to scan and recognize that it can't scan because it doesn't have the utility installed in the machine. So we are going to download and install the support assist. Download. Let's run it. It's running the support assist. Come on. I thought I started it. Oh, you know what? I think it's busy doing some other downloads, the Windows updates. Here we go. Missing important security and quality fixes. Okay, so let's do another restart. And then we'll finalize. Let's see or compare how many drivers might be missing in Device Manager. We'll allow all the drivers for Windows to do its population, and then we'll use the utility to fill in or see what the utility finds that the Windows updates may have missed. Give me a free phone call, 855-434-8787. Call me anytime. It's a recorded call. I'll air it here. There, we're just about done completing our Windows 10 install on a Dell Inspiron 7000. Here we go. All right, so let's see if that finalized most of the Device Manager drivers. Okay, so we still are missing some drivers. And of course, before we even go to do the manual updates, it's wanting us to update and restart again. So we're going to restart again before. Some of these updates are prerequisites for other updates, like later versions of the same driver. Here we go. Here we go. Restarting. Before I give this thing back, I'm going to use my sunglass cleaner to clean off the screen. You can tell on screen specifically how dirty these computers get. Sometimes it's not so obvious in person. Here we go. Restarting. Almost there. It literally takes longer to do the system downloads than it does to manually reinstall Windows, even on an older computer. There's all sorts of boogers around the frame here. After this, I'll take his data off of the original drive and make his 2.5-inch mechanical drive a USB drive and drag over his whole profile. I gotta check my audio here. Let's see. Let's get a check on how I sound today. Let's get a check on how I sound today. You know what? Let's turn down. I got some hiss here. Let's turn my gain down. Let's see. You know what? Let's turn down. Let's get a check on how I sound today. I got some hiss here. Let's turn my gain down. Let's see. Let's turn down. There, that should help a little bit. If you've never been here before, I'm just a full-time IT guy. I film the work when it makes sense. I'm just doing a live install of Windows on an Inspiron 7000. The whole gimmick is that it's live, and I invite you to give me a call, 855-434-8787. If you call me while I'm not live, it is a recorded call. If you give me an interesting conversation, I may air it here, where I narrate it. My name is Chris. I am the South Bay Tech Guru. I'm a commercial operation, full-time IT, desktop support, basically. I don't do a whole lot of repair these days. It's mostly house calls and a lot of setting up. And I film it whenever it makes sense. Show up in the chat, make a friend. Call me at that 855 number, either live, if it makes sense, or any other time, and then give me a conversation. Oh, this restart's taking a while. Show up in the chat, make a friend. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. You won't hurt my feelings. Oh, shucks. We got a blue screen. Oh, heck. Your device ran into a problem and needs to restart. Driver power state failure. Let's see if this thing can power through. Sometimes it restarts. Let's just see if this thing can fix itself. Drum roll. Well, I caught that on camera. No hardware problems, supposedly. Okay, so now it's booting. That was weird. If you're just now showing up, I just installed a Samsung 980. His mechanical drive was showing its age. I managed to get his data off of that drive and onto a safe location. I am going to take that data and put it back on here. Okay, so that was weird. Let's check some more updates. View optional updates. Let's see here. Driver updates. Let's go ahead and check these. Let's see here. Okay, download and install. I wonder if these manufacturers have to call Microsoft and ask for permission and or pay a licensing fee to have the drivers included in the Windows install. I don't know how that works. It would be so much more convenient if the drivers were just always included. Obviously, new hardware is always coming out, but it gets confusing. It gets frustrating when I have to manually do downloads for nothing more than some software updates that aren't feature enhancements. Alrighty, looks like I forgot to plug in the battery. It's plugged into the wall right now. You can tell right here. It does not see the battery, but that's my own fault. I unplugged it for safety, so I didn't zap anything while I was replacing the drive. Alrighty. Download. Oh, it looks like in doing the downloads, it disconnected our Wi-Fi connection. I'm glad I observed that. Connect. Here we go. There. Alrighty. Yeah, so I guess the Wi-Fi driver updated itself. Your device is missing important security and quality fixes. Let's see how many device drivers might still be missing from Device Manager. Let's see here. PCI Data Acquisition and Signal Processing Controller, PCI device, PCI memory controller, SM bus controller, and an unknown device. I've noticed that sometimes the utility I was speaking of a few minutes ago sometimes has newer drivers than what Windows Updates has. So another reason to use the utility that came from the manufacturer for the device you're working on. Okay, it's probably done a few here. Restart. I bet it has a few updates pending. Yep. Getting ready. Windows ready. Do not turn off your computer. I don't think I'm ever going to know what that blue screen was. Some of the... I've seen this happen before where in doing updates, you get a blue screen. I never really know what the issue is, but it's probably a glitch. I don't think this machine has a hardware failure. Getting Windows ready. Yeah, I just had to reinstall Windows. We'd be done already. I want as complete of an installation as possible when I hand over a machine. You'd be surprised how often sometimes something doesn't work and doing an update fixes it, like camera glitches usually. Doing your driver updates, doing your browser updates. You know, Chrome and Firefox get updates every 6 weeks. Getting Windows ready. Do not turn off. Getting Windows ready. Do not turn off this computer. Never been here before? My name is Chris. I'm the South Bay Tech Guru. Call me 855-434-8787. You can call me live, or you can call me after hours when I'm not live for a free conversation. It is recorded. If it makes sense, I'll air it here. Here. Where am I supposed to point? Here, here, here. Doesn't matter. Here, here. Drum roll. If you're wondering what I'm up to, the gimmick is that I'm live, so you can call me and I'll answer your questions or give you a conversation. Getting Windows ready. Do not turn off your computer. Chicago must. Chicago says couple must pay for traffic violation even though their car isn't theirs. Lovely. I'm just reading the news. Oh my goodness. That's so stupid. The ignorance in some government, man. Jesus. Getting Windows ready.
Here's what I found.
Oh, come on. Nope, that's. I did not mean to summon you, lady. Windows. Getting Windows ready. Do not turn off the computer. Sometimes just one update can halt the machine's reboot longer than any other update, even if the other updates are a multitude versus just one. All right, I think I'm going to end this video because I don't know how many. Oh, there we go. Now it's starting to go. I do sometimes edit these videos just to get rid of the silent space, but the reason I'm here is so that I can invite you to show up and say hi. 855-434-8787. That's why I sit here like a bored man while the thing fixes itself. Show up, say hi, give me an interaction. Oh, good. Here we go. Now it's oh no, that was just a blank screen. But at least we see percentage points increasing. All right, here we go. Let's see how many of the drivers have completed installing. Oh, not quite. All right, here we go. Almost there. 98% complete. You know what it is? It's probably all those manual drivers I told it to download and install. So at this point, I think when we should have most of those device manager entries populated. All right, let's go to device manager. And see what's populated. Okay, still we have some updates pending. Alright, so we have to go back to Windows updates. Windows update. View all updates. Let's see how many of those got installed. Oh man, none of the actual drivers got installed. Let's just do these drivers now. Intel, mostly chipset drivers, and a Dell firmware driver. Okay, here they go. Firmware update will often not install if you don't have at least 50% battery power. Or 20% battery power. I think it's an arbitrary. Manufacturer picks and chooses whatever percentage minimum they want. Who's this? James Veek. All right. Hello, this is Chris.
You have a caller.
Hello, this is Chris.
Yeah, Chris, my name's Jim, and I've got a bag full of CDs that looks like they were made at one time to view on the TV or a Blu-ray player, and I can't get anything to read them. If I bring some of those discs by, could you tell me if there's any data on them?
Potentially. How many do you have?
Well, I would just bring a few over to take a look at it.
Yeah, if it's just a few. Yeah, I mean, I can do it as a favor. It's not really something I know I would even know how to charge you for. But yeah, if you just have 2 or 3 CDs you want to know if anything's on, I can do that.
Okay, great. I appreciate it. I'll try to get over there today.
All right. Well, I may or may not be here. Give me a call before you head over. Make sure you don't show up to a locked door. I do house calls all the time.
Oh, okay. I'll call right before I'm leaving, because you're about 5 minutes from me.
All right. Perfect.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Uh-huh. All righty. All right. So I think I've done most of the updates. Oop, there's our firmware update right there. Updating firmware. Firmware update failed. Rebooting your system. I think I know why it failed. The battery is not plugged in. I think it requires a battery to be plugged in. All right, here we go. Let's see how many of those updates installed. Device manager. Okay, good. Most of those drivers installed. Now we just have some sort of, I don't see a touch sensor anywhere. I'm wondering if it's not the touch screen's working. So system firmware didn't install. We have a touch sensor that didn't install. But most of the other drivers are now installed. So this is why I was talking about the utility that you get from Dell's website that installs and then does a scan and checks to see what drivers are missing. Ah, these updates did not finish. Okay, let's finish these. I'm going to guess these don't get finalized until we restart. Let's go to the device manager anyway and see if those populate. There. Nope, it still didn't populate those two missing drivers. Nope. So, let's restart. It's still trying. Okay, let's see if... Let's see where we go here. If you've never been here before, my name is Chris. I'm the South Bay Tech Guru. I'm a full-time IT guy. I fix computers. I film the work when it makes sense. Give me that phone call, 855-434-8787, for a live interaction, or, because it's a recorded call, I might show it here later. Thanks. If you don't want to talk to me, make a friend in the chat. Alright, updating your firmware. Let's see if it finishes. Do not power down. Firmware update failed. That's fine. My theory is that the battery is currently unplugged, because I unplugged it when I did the SSD swap. So I'll turn this thing off, plug it in, we'll see if it then installs. All we're doing now, how all I've been doing for the last 20 to 30 minutes, is doing Windows updates. SSD upgrades are most of the laptop repairs. I'm going to install one over there on that desktop also. I think it's most of the repairs, quote unquote, that I do. Otherwise, machines generally aren't very, well, laptops specifically are not repairable. Sourcing parts is a hassle. Alright. So I'm going to turn this thing off. I'm going to plug the battery and then we'll see if the firmware update finalizes. Alright, there we go. Okay, I'm going to turn this thing off. Shut it down. Still on. The keyboard's still on. Let's wait for the keyboard. There we go. Good, good, good. Alright. So... Oh, I clipped it back together because I needed to be able to plug it in. That's right. Alright, I don't like this design. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, yes, I never bothered to plug the battery back in after replacing the SSD. So, I'll show you. I'm going to do that now. What do you want to bet the firmware now installs? That's one of the reasons I don't tighten these things up before I'm complete. There. Okay, let's turn this thing on again. Oh, that's right. The original issue with this machine is the battery wasn't working. We don't know if this battery that's in here is good. We'll find out. Here we go. Okay, so it currently does not see the battery. That's interesting. That was part of the original problem. Got it. Well, anyway, let's see here. Let's finish some updates. Oh, what I'm going to do is install that Support Assist Launcher from Dell. And let's see what this thing finds that Windows Update didn't find. Device Manager. Yeah, so we still have system firmware version 1.160 and an Intel sensor that are not currently addressed. Let's see. So I bet the Support Assist is going to find it. I'm getting application files. This is the utility I got from Dell's website. It's going to scan the machine, find out what drivers are missing. That's weird. The battery is not even seen. So the customer is going to have to bring back the old battery, the original battery. Installing. Yes, it just does not see the battery. We'll have to tinker with that. Which means it might be a bad battery. Which is the original reason this machine was here. If you have your own problem, go ahead and give me a call. Use and abuse me. 855-434-8787. If I'm not here, it is a regular business line. Call me. It's a recorded line. I'll take that conversation and air it here. Installing 100%. Let's see, that just looks like a performance update. It doesn't look like it's going to fill in any drivers. Yeah, system firmware update and a sensor ID from Intel. Okay, let's go ahead and restart this thing and see if it asks for the firmware update again. Getting Windows ready. Don't turn off your computer. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. All right. Man, these updates are taking a long time. The reason I'm here is to give you an opportunity for a free interaction. 855-434-8787. Give me a phone call if you call me while I'm not live. If it's a recorded, well, it will be a recorded call. If it's interesting, I'll bring it here and I'll narrate it. 855-434-8787 if you want free tech chat. That's what I'm up to. I do this full time. I film the work when it makes sense, and I invite you to show up and say hi. Oh man, that's a beast. Checking out old vintage motorhomes here on the Facebook Marketplace. Whew, that one's tore up. Let's see here. He's chicken. He doesn't want to show the inside. Alrighty. Let's see here. I wish these updates didn't take so long. See if Patrick answers. There we are. We got some percentage points climbing now. 1%. Patrick's not answering. I guess he's busy with work. Only expected. All right, here we go. Okay. Oh, firmware failed again. That's interesting. Oh, that's because it doesn't see the battery, right? Yep. Alrighty, so the customer's going to have to bring me the other battery, which was part of the original problem. When he originally brought it to me, it was physically unplugged. So I opened it up, checked out that it was unplugged when I went to replace the battery. And then I thought, well, let's plug this in and see what happens. And then I realized his hard drive was starting to fail also. So I bought the drive. Now we got a working copy of Windows. And now we have a properly working machine minus a battery that doesn't get seen. So, if you've never seen this before, I'm an IT guy full-time. When it makes sense, I film the work. And I invite you to give me a call at 855-434-8787. You can talk tech. Ask me your own technical questions. And if I'm not live, it will be a recorded call, so I might take that call and air it here. 855-434-8787. Alright, so I'm going to end this in a minute. Customer's going to have to bring me the rest of that battery for me to finish this. So, the other battery for me to finish this machine. Firmware failed. Well, that's weird. I wonder. Yeah. I didn't know, but I'm thinking because it doesn't see the battery, I can't do the firmware update. And the real theory there is if it loses power, although if it's plugged in, that's weird. I don't know. Really weird. So at this point, I'm just going to drag his data over. Oh, I'm going to do the Dell. Just before I finish, I'll do the Dell system updates. Getting Windows ready, working on updates, 35% complete. Do not turn off your computer. 64%, 88%, 90%, 91, 93, 94, Almost there. So this was just a feature update. I don't think it's going to populate those two missing drivers in the Windows Device Manager. Let's see here. Okay. So let's see, Device Manager. Yep, firmware and Intel sensor. I'm guessing they're one and the same. Wouldn't put too much money on that, but that's a guess. Let's see what other updates we can do here before I run the Dell utility. I think we're just about done there. So let's go to Dell.com. Let the website scan the machine. We're going to go to Support and then Support Home. Nope, it didn't. Oh, it didn't finish installing, did it? View optional updates. Got one more Dell. Oh, good. So we only have one more technical driver. Literally speaking. I never finished the Dell Support Assist install. Oh, look at that. I had one more driver to install and it repopulated 4 more sensors. Look at that. Look at that. All right, well, Intel sensors and labeled 0 through 3. Scan. There we are. Now that that utility's installed, identify. No, detect this PC. There we go. There. We detected your device. An Inspiron 7573 2-in-1. Warranty expired last year. Let's see here. No, I'm not going to do your stupid. Okay, so we're going to do drivers and downloads. Let Dell automatically find the driver updates for you. All right. So let's see if it can populate these missing sensors. The firmware it'll probably see, but again, it'll probably fail until I get that battery working. So let's just see for giggles. Come on. Biometric devices. I wonder if it's that sensor. No. There we go. Please wait while support assistant checks for driver updates. It does tell us that Windows 11 is specifically not supported on this hardware. That's interesting. I think he was referencing his wife's machine. Here we go. We're almost there. All right, 7 driver updates ready to install. So that implies they're not installed. BIOS update says it's urgent. Alrighty, so there we go. Let's see what's up here. There. Okay. Application support needs an update. BIOS update available. Chipset update recommended. Chipset Intel sensor. So there we go. There's our sensor. So let's just do these 7 updates. Oh, and the Ethernet driver also is available. Download and install. So there you go. The Ethernet driver did populate, but apparently Dell's website has a more updated driver than Windows updates. So there you go. That's exactly what I wanted to point out. See, if we go to the device manager, it will show that the device manager for the network driver there's our wireless. No, I'm sorry. You know what? I was wrong. I lied. So the Ethernet in this case did not come included in Windows updates. I lied. I'm sorry. All right. So it's installing the Ethernet driver. 80% complete. That's downloaded 4 out of the 7 drivers at 86%. We're on our 6th driver, 90%, 98%, 7 of 7. Alright, so now it's actually going to do the install. Dell is probably the most user-friendly in this situation. Toshiba's the worst. I'm glad they're out of the market. They don't do laptops anymore. Their website's a mess. So is their driver support. Who's this no caller ID here? Hello, this is Chris.
Hi, Chris. It's Rick Vongard. How are you?
I'm all right. How's it going?
Well, I got a little bit of a problem. I brought the computer in and you looked at it and we did all the things and everything worked great. Except I hadn't used the CD-ROM and I put in a TurboTax CD-ROM and it doesn't work. I mean, the ESET says, scan it and do whatever and let's go from there. But then under 10, it just automatically opened up, the CD-ROMs, and then you could either play like if it was music or like TurboTax, and then I could download the TurboTax or do whatever I wanted to do. Well, and I don't know how to go in to change it or do whatever to make it so it'll recognize it, I guess. So,
Well, I don't think that was part. I think I just did some updates on that machine. I forgot exactly what else I did to it. I don't remember.
Well, I had Windows 10 and you downloaded Windows 11.
Right. Okay. So that would not, generally speaking, disable that optical drive. That wasn't part of anything I dealt with. So I wouldn't have even bothered to check to see if the driver or the drive works. Because you didn't mention
well,
that.
It worked, before that. I mean, I never had a problem with it ever. It just popped up and, you just did.
Right. So when you put a
That's
CD
the
in
only
it.
thing I can think of because I can't even find. Is it called an optical drive? I don't know
Yes.
what they're called.
Yeah. So if you put a drive in, what does it do? If you go into this PC, does it show a drive?
Where do I go into that? In the settings?
Well, if you go into the Manila folder, you can go check all the drive letters. You know how to check the C drive?
Yeah, I do normally. Yeah.
Okay, so while you go in there, you should also be able to see the CD drive.
Oh, it shows it there. Yeah, it's showing it, but
So you could have.
okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I've forgotten so much of how to do it. It's just before it always used to just it'd pop up with an icon or a thing and said you want to open this and I'd do it. But now I see the DVD drive E's there. It's audio CD whatever on this PC.
All right.
And it shows. Okay. So I should be able to open it now.
Well, when you put it in, it'll ask you by default if you want to start the program or whatever it is you're trying to run.
Right. Well, right. I tried to
Right.
These new programs, every time I look at them, I forget things.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
So what it says is internet security. It says new device detected. TurboTax CD. This is under the ESET.
Yeah.
So it says now do not scan or set up. So.
Oh, you could. Yeah, I can't really scan a CD. That's not going to work. So yeah.
Right.
Just continue your day. See if you can get it to read the disc.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see if I can get it. It actually scanned it before when I did scan now. It scanned the CD and said there was no problem.
Right.
I don't know if ESET can do it. It's weird.
Right.
Because it says CD. It says new device detected CD, DVD, TurboTax 2022, and when I scanned it, it scanned it. So, but okay. I'll see if I can make it work. If not, I'll probably have to bring it down to you, have you show me or whatever. I'm pretty sure I can get it now because now that I looked at the drives and stuff, I'd forgotten to even think that way. I was thinking, God, I can't find the dang thing.
No problem.
So, okay, thanks, Chris.
All right. Bye.
Okay, have a good day.
You too. Well, there you go. Okay, so we got the Windows updates completed, and then we did the Windows Dell updates directly from Dell's utility. And I think we've just populated all of our drivers. One driver we can't do, or one software update we can't do is the driver update. It's going to say updating your firmware, do not power down, and my theory is it's not going to complete because we have either a failed battery or for whatever other reason it doesn't want to see the battery. I'm wondering if the cable's bad that connects the battery to the motherboard. But anyway, that was the original reason this machine was here. But because the machine ultimately needed a drive replacement anyway, I'll tell the customer to bring back that battery. Alright, I think we're done. If you've never been here before, I'm a full-time IT guy. I film the work when it makes sense. I also invite you to show up with a live technical conversation at 855-434-8787. You can call me during work hours, 855-434-8787. It is a recorded call. If you give me a technical conversation, I might air it here. 855-434-8787. Alrighty. Okay, so the battery's still not visible. I'll have to tinker with that. Customer has to bring that battery back over. The other theory is I think this replacement battery, the customer let this thing sit for like a year. So even his replacement battery could have gone bad just sitting around. Okay, updates. Yeah, all right. Okay, cool. Yeah, system firmware version 1.160 is the only thing that's no longer installed. Got it. Okay, well there you go. I'm going to call this video an end and take you off. I probably will not be back live today. I gave you a go at 8. Oh, this is going to be edited, but live it's an hour and 40 minutes. Show up, say hi, make a friend in the chat. Otherwise, that's it. 855-434-8787.